arrogance of man is thinking nature is in our control, and not the other way around.
That's it, man. Game over, man. Game over.
Please, you can kill it.
What has gone wrong?
Nobody trusts anybody now.
Come on, you hate. You want to live forever?
I got a really bad feeling about this.
Godzilla will live.
And welcome back to the 92nd episode of the Monster Movie Stompdown. Of course, you've got your host, Sludge, here, co-host across from me.
It's Mark.
And our brother in Texas.
You got Ruben.
So as you may notice, you can see us now. That's pretty exciting. What do you guys think?
That could be scary.
Of course,
I've
Ruben.
been told I have a face for radio, so I don't know.
So this is it. This was the big surprise is we
Yeah.
are finally switching over to our first ever video cast. We will be doing all of our episodes on video and audio from now on. And so you'll be able to make sure go subscribe to the YouTube channel so you can watch the video version of the show just like you do the Stompy and Frank show. And as you can see from the cameras, we are in the spirit of Halloween.
Oh, yes.
So if you check out the decorations back here by Mark, you've got a cool skull and hanging pumpkins. Over behind me, you got biohazard tape and a pumpkin that's not facing the right way now.
Yeah.
So, but hey, we're pumped and ready for Halloween. And
The
of
man
course,
is here.
that's I don't know if you can see it on the camera or not, but
Oh, yeah.
Godzilla's right here. We got our bucket of candy of Chico sticks and Reese cups. And Ruben, what do you got over there?
I've got my plain old podcast room, a.k.a. RJ's old room. I did get a special poster for you and put it right. Let's see. I got to figure out where it is. It's over this shoulder, right?
Yeah.
There it is, right
Yeah.
there.
I've been
That's
looking at that.
That's a vintage. Yeah, that is a vintage Revenge of the Sith poster from 2005. Yeah. So
Well, that's going to be the
I had it
last
in
time they see
storage.
Ruben for the rest of the night. So
yeah, so
since he put that
I
up.
put that there,
Yeah.
yeah, and everything else is the usual subject. You know, I've got a little bit of everything. You can't see everything in this room, but I've got my Trendmasters over here behind my head. There they are, right there. Let's see, there you go.
Oh, yeah.
And my official Kiss picture when they came down to Corpus, and that's a picture that I got there framed in a very prestigious area. So, and then my Dallas Cowboys Legends poster back there by the window. So I got a little bit of everything. And over to my left, over here, I've got all kinds of figures. Let's see. I wonder if I can turn this.
Yeah,
you
let's
go.
see.
There you
There's the
go.
setup.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
There
See,
you go.
now you all get to
Yeah.
see what we see every time we record.
Yeah,
That looks
I got
good.
All of that. Yes, I got all kinds of stuff, and that's only a little bit. But
Wait, go back,
yeah,
go back. We're totally going to banter for a second here. The Spider-Man and Hulk. That's
Yes,
not
sir.
is that the Marvel Treasury?
no, that one is not.
Okay.
It is not the Treasury. That is just the comic, just the regular size comic.
Okay, gotcha. The Treasury is
I've
where
got
it's.
the,
Okay.
I got the Treasury. Yeah, the Treasury. I've got that in storage in a plastic container somewhere.
Ooh, that's
Yeah,
juicy.
man, when I was a kid, I loved those. I just loved those Marvel treasuries. I got quite a few. I got a Battlestar Galactica. I've got another Spider-Man with the one with Morbius. It's got Morbius in it, and it's got what else is it? It's got like 3 stories in it. It's a great one. Spectacular Spider-Man, and then I got Star Wars, the Treasury.
That's
Star
another
Wars
awesome source of
1
money.
through 3. Yeah, 1 through 3. Yeah, 1 through 3. I've got that one. When I was a kid, I had all 6 of them. You know, just in my comic collection. But my mom must have got rid of them because I cannot find them anymore.
Dang it,
You know,
Mom!
so-
Moms always do
How
that.
could that be? How could that be?
You know, and I got a poster that I'm trying to get a hold of. A Kiss Subway poster that I used to have as a kid. You know what I'm talking about? The big giant ones that are, I don't know, about 5 foot long.
Oh yeah.
And about 3 foot, yeah. And I'm trying to get a hold of that one again. I had that at my wall as a kid, and that one disappeared too. But oh well. So
I had the Kiss Alive poster on my wall as a kid.
There you go.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Oh,
what
yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
talking about right there.
Which one did I? No, I had the Destroyer poster.
Yes,
That's the one that I had was
yes,
Destroyer.
yeah.
Because that was my favorite, still my favorite record of theirs. So, but right on, yeah. So we are here for Halloween, and we are doing 2007's Trick or Treat by Michael Dougherty.
Yeah.
And pretty stoked for that one. Now, we are, of course, doing a live show, and not only am I having to talk and steer us through the episode, but I'm also having to control the cameras at the same time because we're too poor for an actual production crew.
Oh, yeah,
so.
yeah. One day.
Yeah.
One day.
Yeah.
We definitely try our best to do what we can. So bear with us as we work through these first couple episodes. But hey, we are ready. So you guys ready for the trailer?
Let's
It's
do
funny
it.
you should say that. Every time I talk to my friends about it, they say, "Oh, like Joe Rogan, you got all kinds of sponsors yet?" And I said, "Nope, not yet." You know,
Yeah.
but they envision a Joe Rogan type show where millions of bucks roll in, and I'm like, no,
I wish
it's
we
not
get
quite
that
like
kind of money.
yet.
Like,
Yeah.
that would be nice.
Yeah,
I mean,
know it.
but
Yeah.
we just do this for fun. So
Hey,
Yeah,
it gets
yeah.
there. We can send copies of the show out to different organizations and see where we can come up with.
that's
Yeah.
true. Maybe
Yeah.
team up
Yeah.
with someone like Sven Gulli would be pretty sweet.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
Oh yeah, that would be cool.
But-
Yeah.
All right, well, let's jump into this. So it is the 2007 Trick or Treat. So before we get started, here's the trailer.
During the spookiest time of the year, there are a few guidelines all ghosts and goblins should follow. Always stay on sidewalks. Never go to a stranger's house. And never go out alone.
Trick or treat!
This is the one night that all sorts of things roam free. Sorry. All these traditions.
Wait.
What?
You're supposed to keep it lit.
Why?
Ain't you tradition?
Putting on costumes,
I look like I'm 5. You look great. What did we do now? We meet our dates.
jack-o'-lanterns.
Why are we here? To pay our respects to the dead?
The Halloween school bus massacre.
They started to protect us, but
What in God's name are you doing down there? Hiding buddies?
nowadays, no one really cares.
This one's still lit.
What is that?
It's them.
Oh my God.
Look at me. It's not a trick. It's real.
Tonight is about respecting the customs, not breaking them.
All right, so that was the trailer for Trick or Treat. And again, this movie came out in 2007. It actually was delayed like a year or two before it was finally come out. And it didn't get a huge box office release. It came out on October 9th of 2007. And it was very limited. This was more of a direct-to-video type deal. Had a $12 million budget, but it got really good reviews and has developed quite a cult following. This one was an anthology horror film, and we hadn't seen those since the early 90s with the end of the Creepshow movies, or the 80s with Tales from the Dark Side, Cat's Eye. We used to get the Creepshow films like that, the anthologies, a lot in the 80s, but then they died out in the 90s, and Michael Dougherty is like, I'm totally bringing one back, and we're going to do Trick or Treat, and that's what it was. So it's all centered around one character, like most anthologies are, and that is this Halloween character named Sam, who is a well, you think at first is a kid in like just an orange jumpsuit with a burlap sack for a head. But you find out later he's not just a kid, and he pops up in every one of the stories. This movie, of course, starts off with a couple at the beginning, ending their Halloween night, and the wife, I think Kelly was her name. I can't even remember now. Carrie, Kelly, starts with a K. She goes to blow out a jack-o'-lantern, and the husband's like, no, don't do that. You know, you're breaking tradition. And she's like, oh, it's going to be okay. And then, boom, she gets murdered by Sam right at the very beginning of the movie. And then that kicks off our night through the night as all these stories kind of cross paths and intertwine. You've got a boy who is smashing pumpkins, comes up to get candy off of the front porch of the principal of the school. His name is Mr. Wilkins, who's played by a familiar face, Dylan Baker. There's going to be a couple faces in this movie you'll remember. And it turns out that Mr. Wilkins, or the school principal, is actually a serial killer and ends up killing this poor old chubby kid. Same kid from Bad or Santa, right? I think, if I'm not mistaken. And so kills him, and before he goes out on a date, he's got a date that night. And during that story, you, of course, get to meet another familiar face, Brian Cox, who plays Mr. Krieg, who is the grumpy old man that does not want to give out candy, doesn't want anything to do with anything. He just wants to sit in there in his decrepit old house with his dog and drink his booze. And so you get to meet Mr. Krieg, and as the story goes on, from Mr. Wilkins killing this kid, you see kids going around, this group of kids going around collecting jack-o'-lanterns because they actually take a new girl named Rhonda, who's kind of a interesting character, almost kind of Velma-ish from Scooby-Doo, and take her out to this rock quarry, and they tell her the story about this school bus of mentally challenged kids who the bus went off the rock quarry because the parents wanted to kill the kids, and they died and drowned in there. And so they try to pull a Halloween prank on her. It goes south very fast, and you find out that those kids are still alive, and the zombie bodies of those kids end up killing these other kids while Rhonda just leaves them to be. And it moves from that one to, we are also introduced to another familiar face, Anna Paquin, who plays a sister named Lori, and she's out with her sister and their other girlfriends, college age in town, for this big Halloween bash that this town's doing. And you assume they're looking for, she talks about this being her first time type deal, that she's looking for her first date. You assume maybe she's a virgin, and they're on the hunt to find her, somebody for the party that night. And they end up finding a guy who you think at first is a vampire and kills a girl in an alleyway, who actually turns out to be Mr. Wilkins, the principal, in a mask with some pretty decent fake vampire fangs, and they bring him out to the party. And old Miss Laurie is dressed like Red Riding Hood, which is quite perfect for the role, because as they bring Mr. Wilkins out to the party, or who you think is a vampire and find out is Mr. Wilkins, you come to find out that the whole first time deal is because he's her first prey, and they're nothing but werewolves. And so they transform and just massacre everybody at the party. And of course, every time this stuff happens, you see Sam just sitting there watching as everything goes on. And then it goes to the last story, which is Mr. Krieg. And Mr. Krieg refuses to give out candy, and so Sam comes and pays him a visit, and cuts his Achilles tendon, stabs him, all kinds of stuff. Mr. Krieg ends up shooting Sam 2 or 3 times with a shotgun, rips the burlap sap off, and you've come to find out that Sam's like a Halloween monster or demon. And Sam goes to raise his little lollipop that's broken and sharp to stab Mr. Krieg, and when he reaches down to stab him, he actually stabs the piece of candy laying there, and then takes the piece of candy and walks off. And then you see Mr. Krieg all wrapped up. Kids come to his door for Halloween, and he decides he's going to finally give out candy. And as he closes the door, knock comes again. He goes to open the door to give out more trick-or-treat candy, and it's the kids from the rock quarry, the zombie kids, and they take out Mr. Krieg. So great anthology of stories for this one. Like I said, a familiar cast. I don't know what this movie made, because it had a very limited run, but again, it did great on DVD. It's developed a cult following. Almost everybody talks about it every Halloween since it's come out, and we just recently got news that Michael Dougherty is actually working on the sequel to this, and I'm pretty stoked about it. So let's go ahead and get rolling. Let's get started. Mark, take it off, man. What did you think of this movie?
Well, I felt like it was the typical 80s, 90s, 70s, 80s, 90s Halloween movie, teenage kids making out, getting naked, the whole 9 yards. And
yes, real quick. Spoiler, or just let everyone know, there is some brief nudity in this movie.
Yeah.
Little bit of language, not too much, but there's some brief nudity, so it's not kid friendly. I meant to give that
Yes.
Heads up at the beginning, so I do apologize. So because we do like to keep things clean, or if we do a movie that's got some, we want to make sure and give you a heads up, because if it's not kid friendly, we want to make sure and let you know. So sorry, Mark, go back to that.
Exactly. So I did give you the heads up on that.
Thanks.
But I think it
after several rewatches, he made sure that the nudity was.
I can tell you,
right. Yeah.
exact time.
Yeah. He knows to make sure. Yep. Let me rewind that. That's definitely nudity.
I better write that down. But I think it was that average Halloween type movie. I mean, I didn't get real excited about it. I thought it was good. I thought Sam was cool, neat character for a scary movie. And I do believe this is actually listed as horror comedy.
It is.
Yeah. Horror comedy.
So overall, great cast. You couldn't ask for a better cast. They did really good for what they had. To me, it was a mediocre movie. Down the line, you'll see with my stomp rating.
All right. Well, Ruben, what about you, man? What did you think of Trick or Treat?
Well, I'll tell you what. When the movie first started, I was with Mark on this. I was like, well, I don't know about this. But as it progressed, I started liking it more and more. I really liked the twists and turns of this thing and how it all ended up interweaving into each other. The timelines all intersected and you found out what was going on. But, the first, 30 minutes of it, I was kind of like, man, I don't know about this. And it didn't start getting excited until they went over to the bus site. When they went over to see where that bus went over the cliff, that was when it got great. Because before then, right before that, they showed Wilkins had already taken a victim and left her lying on the floor. Everybody was partying. They kind of left her sitting there on a sidewalk like she was drunk or passed out. And then it cut to that story with the kids, and that's when it got really good. And Mark is right. This takes you back to a typical horror, but that's Doherty. That's what he likes to do. That's what he did with Godzilla, and that's what he does here. He takes you back and he puts in all the elements that you liked with the great horror movies of the 80s and early 90s, around there. So much so that even the title, there's 3 different movies with a title so similar. I almost watched the wrong movie twice before I finally got the right one, which I think purposely I was told to watch it. It was very vague. Watch Trick or Treat, knowing that there was one in 82 and then one in 2007. And then right slap in the middle was the 86, which, of course, the headbanger in me thought that was the one because that's the one I'd seen, called Trick or Treat. And it had the Fastaway soundtrack about the rock and roll star.
Now, Mark. Now, I want to say here now. And now in our chat, it was. I did put Trick or Treat, right?
Oh yes, you did. You did.
2007 film.
Oh yeah, you did. You did.
But
wait a minute though. But I believe it can happen. I remember watching the wrong Godzilla movie one time. So those things do happen. So
no, that's not our fault. Okay, there is 5 Godzilla versus Megagodzilla films, but that's on you because you just old age crept in and you forgot which one was on.
At least I didn't on this one. I was good.
Sorry, Ruben, go ahead.
But this one, but that's it. And then there was one in 82, so then I was going to watch that one. And then he said no, and then I said, which one and then he said 2007. And I think of the 3, this one is the best of the 3 that I almost watched.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. That's definitely
there's no doubt. I'm as much as I'm a rock and roller and I like my heavy music. It's not nothing compared to the 86 one. This one is great. It's got great twists and turns. I loved how he ended up being the bus driver, for the kids. I loved how they tried to play a prank on her and it ended up that it was real and they ended up, and then she just left. And I loved how they did as long as you had your jack-o'-lantern lit, you were fine. I don't know if y'all caught that throughout the movie, but if you had a jack-o'-lantern that was lit,
as long as you didn't
somehow you were safe. Somehow you were safe,
if
and
you
there
didn't
was
break
no problem.
Any traditions, you didn't break Halloween traditions,
if you didn't break any traditions,
you're safe.
Yeah, then you're safe. even the principal with the kid, he has a kid who ends up being a serial killer, or a future serial killer anyway, right? Because they have the head of that poor little chubby kid sitting on the table, and that's their jack-o'-lantern. You know. So,
dad or Wilkins and his little son.
Yeah,
Well, then
Wilkins
at the end, he's
son.
sitting on the front porch, just a little kid handing candy out. Oh yeah,
Handing candy out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I liked all those elements made the movie. Like I said, it started off, I guess, was slow. Maybe it was character development that he wanted to do. But it had all the great elements that I liked, and I really liked the twists and turns in it. And it took me back to, it wasn't it isn't, like you said, an anthology, but it was so interwoven, unlike like Twilight Zone, which was like 4 separate stories, or Creepshow.
Right.
That was different stories. Night Gallery, I can go on and on. Trilogy of Terror.
Yep.
They weren't interwoven. They were just 3 separate stories, and this was all interwoven.
More like Cat's Eye.
Yeah, like Cat's Eye. There you go. It was a lot more like Cat's Eye. So I like that. So my stop rating went up. And then by the end, I was like, man, this is actually a good movie, and it's, if you could find a edited version, because there's not much nudity in it. There's maybe 30 seconds,
if that. It's very,
if that.
It's
even,
definitely
even
very,
that.
very brief.
And I'm counting when that guy goes in to watch his tape.
Yeah.
At
the beginning.
At the very beginning, and then at the very end.
And then at the very end with the werewolves,
Yes.
and it's very brief, and it's not, if you can find an edited version, or if you have software that takes that out, I don't think it'd be fun. I think it'd be more kid friendly.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely let the girls. Boys are still a little young, but like the girls, I'm like, yeah, let's watch Trick or Treat, because I plan on, I had it before, but on the Plex edited, but I had to back all that up, blah blah blah. None of you listeners care about that, but I'll get it re-edited and put on the Plex, so we can have it, because it's great. And yeah, it's very, very brief. I wouldn't even say 30 seconds, not maybe 10 seconds, 15 at most.
Yeah, it's not very much, and but it was great. I really don't have that many complaints about it, and I've never seen it before. This is my first actual watch of this movie, and now, I mean, I don't know. It's like I said, it's a perfect Halloween night movie to watch. I mean, I watch a lot of movies. I mean, my tradition in October is, I try to watch one a day if I can. But this year's been tough. It's been a long year at work, so I'm not getting to do as much as I want to, but it's definitely one of those movies that I think you want to watch, and part of your make it a Halloween tradition, because it's up there with me, like, maybe not as traditional as Christmas Story, like I watch Christmas Story every Christmas, even before TNT started doing the 24 hours. And pretty much wearing everyone out on it. So, and there's certain movies that just go on every Halloween, and now this is one of them for me. So, like I said, it grew on me, and I really liked it. So, I recommend it, man. I think it's a good movie. It is a horror comedy. It is more a horror than it is a comedy, if you ask me. I mean, there are some comedy elements to it, but it's not Naked Gun comedy. It's kind of just like, I don't know, not even an Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein type comedy. It's not slapstick or anything, but it's in there, and I think that what makes it fun. So I'll hand it off to you.
Well, I mean, I'm going to praise this one, because, and Ruben, I think you're absolutely correct. This is, because I haven't watched it in a few years, but this one is definitely repeat Halloween material for me. Like, I genuinely, this is such a fun movie, that, of course, I'm a big fan of the anthology films, Creepshow, Cat's Eye, the Twilight Zone movie, big fan of Tales from the Dark Side movie.
So are you saying that you compare this with Halloween, Friday the 13th, those type of movies?
As a Halloween staple,
yeah,
to watch the season?
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. I would put this up there with that. Like, I really enjoy this film, which will reflect in my rating. I love the anthology, and I love how everything's tied together on it, because you even see in the background of some scenes you're in one story, like Lori and her sister are walking down the street, and then they cross paths with Carrie and her boyfriend from the beginning. You know, I mean, you see
Right.
them intertwine. Same with Mr. Wilkins, and Sam's everywhere. And I loved Sam. Sam is such a cool, unique character.
Oh, yeah.
And then to see him revealed at the end was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, I thought that was cool. I thought that was very cool that it ended up being him. I'm like, really? I would have never guessed that it was him.
Yeah.
You know, with the fake teeth and everything.
Oh,
You know,
man.
you know, but then it made perfect sense. It was like, I'm going out on a date. He tells his kid, I'm going out on a date. And then you almost forget about it because everything else is going on, you know? And you forget. And he said, well, he said he was going out on a date. Well, he was. He was going out on a date to find some more prey.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, and then just to turn around and become prey himself.
Oh, yeah,
instead.
that
Like
was
it was
just-
absolutely great. And the transfer, I mean, it's all practical effects. The whole movie is practical effects, and the practical effects are freaking tastic. Especially with the werewolves. Like the werewolves looked great. I loved how they kind of went a little more Howling-esque. You know what I mean, with the tearing of the skin and stuff. Was really, really cool. Again, Sam was awesome. It just had such a great, perfect Halloween spooky vibe, and even the color palettes. I mean, the zombie kids looked great, but the color aesthetic of the movie was phenomenal. The soundtrack was really good too. It fit the movie very, very well. There was the perfect comedic moments, and I don't know if you guys knew this or not, but like when Laurie and her sister and her friends are in the store at the beginning, and they're in the dressing room, and you've got the little boy who keeps trying to peek in and watch them get dressed or whatever. That's actually Quinn Lord is that little boy. That's the kid who plays Sam in the movie.
Wow.
Yeah, Quinn Lord plays that. So pretty cool little neat thing. But I absolutely loved it. I mean, again, minus the nudity, which my version for the Plex I'm taking out. Minus that, like, this movie was an absolute blast. I love it. I could watch it very regularly, even outside of Halloween, I think. Just because I love the anthology stories, and I love Michael Dougherty's writing. I mean, obviously, we're all big fans of Godzilla King of the Monsters. Dougherty's just, I think, a great movie director. And for his first actual major, film to direct, I think he knocked it out of the park. Because, I mean, I think it's a fantastic movie. So that's my thoughts on it. And so I think it's Stompdown rating time. All right, and collectively, out of the three of us, this one got a 3 out of 5 for the Stompdown rating. Of course, I gave it the highest. I gave it 4 out of 5 because, again, I absolutely love it.
Well, you originally gave it 8 out of 5.
Yeah, I was a little excited. Yeah,
it was a little over on that one.
Yes, I did give it 8. Again, I've been watching, or I've been listening to Charlie and Nate and them, so I was stuck on a different rating system. But yeah, so 4 out of 5 for me. I absolutely love this movie, and honestly, the one ding on it would be some of the content. Would be it, and it's just not as good as Tales from the Dark Side or the original Creep Show. Those are the pinnacle.
Yeah, but that, you're talking about, that sets the bar, and it's hard to beat that. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So I mean, if you look at Creep Show or Tales from the Dark Side, if those are the 5s for horror anthology films, then this one just quite can't hit that bar. But he does a great job. Mark, you gave it the lowest.
I think he got close though.
I did definitely give it a 2, and to me, it's more that typical movie. When I look at it, and the way I thought about it is the typical horror movie that was from the 70s in the 80s, and comparing it to the Halloweens or the Friday the 13th, I don't think it quite stands up. Good movie, but just don't quite stand up.
Well, I don't know that it would stand up as good as the original Halloween or as the original Friday the 13th.
Oh, no, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're just, those are pinnacle films, but for the season, I think it's a staple film for the season.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah,
so,
and that's why I said as far as a traditional, like, movies you want to watch around Halloween. I mean, I was about to ask you guys, like, you're having a Halloween party, and it's kind of like a get-together, just a movie watch party. What 3 films do you pick, And you got kids around, so you might a cleaned up version of this one. Pumpkinhead would be another one that's, I would say, for a party, or let's say you're outside, in a patio and you got your TV set up. I mean, you can go for the Halloween, but then you got more nudity in it, not and it's a little bit more gory.
Right.
Well, I don't know if it's more gory, but yeah. But
I would
that's what I mean. It's true.
I would say
I
Halloween's
call it
less gory than this movie actually.
than this
Carpenter,
one, yeah.
where he
less
hid
gory,
things.
but then it's got more nudity.
That typical,
Halloween's got more- yeah. And this one, and neither does Halloween. It's not gratuitous. It's like they're turning into werewolves. That makes sense that they would rip off their clothes.
Yeah.
It's not.
Well, they ripped off.
It's not
everything.
nudity just for the sake of nudity. It's not nudity for the sake of nudity. So I would say, and that's what I mean. I'm not comparing it to Halloween classics. I'm just saying that as seasonal, it's like a lot of people like Hocus Pocus, a movie like that. But people just have to watch in Halloween.
Yeah, I mean, it would be one of those if you had to edit it for TV, or if I had the edited version on the Plex, I would put this in rotation with I would watch this with, Nightmare Before Christmas, or
there you go. That's the
Ernest Scared Stupid. This one's a little more obviously because it's rated R,
right?
But I mean, for me watching it, that would be in my rotation of Halloween seasonal films. And for those who are watching us now, the reason why we keep looking this way is because we can see Ruben on a TV, so you guys can't see it because we cut to his feed, but when we want to talk to Ruben, we got to look that way because he's on our wall. But but yes, I mean, overall, man, 3 out of 5 for us. This is a fun movie. Don't listen to Mark; he don't know what he's talking about.
I don't.
2, well, I'm
just watch it, then
you decide.
Yeah. Give us an email. Give us a shot,
because we do. We want to know,
and let him know I'm right.
That's a bold statement. So,
oh man,
I don't know. Mark's right sometime, But I mean, again, super fun movie. You guys should definitely check this thing out. And 3 out of 5, man. We completely enjoy this movie.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
Shred Sleestack here with a breaking news report. Tri-Oceanic Corporation stocks plummeted today after information was released that one of the company's major deep-sea mining facilities imploded. Reports from the company state there were 2 survivors and 6 fatalities. Rumors are coming in from the survivors of some kind of genetic mutation or virus that was the cause of the catastrophe. We will report as further information comes in.
And now back to your regularly scheduled program.
So yeah, definitely, got to check this movie out. It's definitely worth it and tons of fun for the Halloween season. You guys got anything else you want to add for it?
No, I'm about good on it.
No.
You, Ruben?
No, it's the first time I watched it. I enjoyed it enough that I will watch it again. And like I said, now it will be in my rotation, along with staples like The Exorcist, Halloween, and Phantasm, stuff like that. That's that's right up my alley. So it'll be in there along with Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein.
Oh yes, that's definitely
very good. Very good.
That's when I watch with the boys every year. So
yeah, you got to watch it, man. It's just like Charlie Brown. You got to watch it. Yeah,
definitely good. So, okay, well, that's going to wrap up our Halloween episode, man. And hopefully everyone enjoyed, or hopefully all of you guys enjoyed the 10 Days to Halloween countdown. And I definitely hope, we asked you guys to put your top 10 in the social media groups so that we know what your favorite monster movies are. We hope that you guys have definitely enjoyed the Monster Movie Stompdown Series 2 cards. And, of course, we will be getting those printed ASAP and including those on the prize pack every month, so you've got 20 cards to now try and get, and we've got some big stuff coming for the next couple months, and I don't want to spoil the surprise, but I am going to spoil the surprise, but we've got something really cool coming next month, and all I'm going to say at this moment is, since it's Thanksgiving, it's Battle of the Birds. So that's we're going to leave it at that.
Oh,
we got something cool planned. Stompy kind of talked me into it, but you guys will find out about it pretty soon.
We're not going to do a turkey drop like WKRP in Cincinnati, are we?
Oh, that's over his head. He don't even remember that. Oh yeah,
that's way too old for me. I don't even know.
I do remember that episode. Great episode.
I do have one more thing. If you put the camera, I wore this shirt especially for Justin McLean.
Oh, there we go.
Right here.
There
Halloween
you go.
Halloween 2. Because according to Mr. Justin, this movie right here is the worst sequel ever made.
Wow.
That is
I think
terrible statement.
Yeah.
A terrible statement. But so I'm like, I'm throwing it on just for Justin, just so he knows we're thinking about him. Just
Always
see
thinking
him,
of Justin.
yeah,
Justin,
always-
we love you so much. Even when you make crazy statements like Halloween 2 is the worst sequel ever made. I can think of a ton real quick. Terminator 3 Rise of the Machines was like the first thing that came to my mind. That was a terrible sequel. Yeah. I don't know that anything can get worse than that. But so anyways.
Well, hey, here's another thing. Anything with Jason Voorhees is a terrible
Hey,
movie.
now,
I'm gonna
whoa,
say that
whoa,
too.
Wow.
whoa, time out on that one. We got a friend, Missy, on Facebook, because there's so many people right now dogging the new Halloween movie and the way it ends.
Yep.
And she put a post up the other day. It was a meme, and you got all these people in like a restaurant fighting, and one's above them says like Halloween, one says Halloween kills, Halloween ends. And then you got this guy just smiling at the table playing on his phone, and it says fans of the Friday the 13th series. I was like, that's so true. Because, there may be some bad ones, but I love them all, man. They're all so good. So much fun.
So I think the actual sequel to Friday the 13th, which number 2, could be the best of the Friday the 13th, in my opinion.
That's a good, because
I agree with them. I would agree with that.
Yeah.
I would agree with that.
That's a very good idea, or a very good point. Yeah, I agree with that. So, all right.
And, it is the first movie. It is the first movie where Jason doesn't get his mama to do all his dirty work.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But would Ruben consider the first one cheating like Predator does? Because Mom is doing all the work for him. Predator's got all his technology.
That's what I say.
It'd be one of those movies like him. So, all right. So, anyways, man, that wraps up Halloween for us, and we hope you guys had a great, safe Halloween. Got lots of candy. We had our bowl of candy of Reese's bats and pumpkins and. Of course, Chico sticks. We had to have the Chico sticks. So, then hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully you guys now, of course, the next episode will be a lot brighter because we're dark in the Halloween theme here. But hopefully you guys enjoyed it and are excited about the new video shows. And make sure and subscribe to YouTube. Share out the socials. Go join the Facebook group because 3 times a week we give out additional content. So you got the Underdogs on Mondays. Ruben does the Monster Mash Wednesdays musics, and then of course Fridays we got Friday Night Fights where we pit 2 crazy monsters against each other, and you guys get to decide who wins. We do that on the Instagram as well. But make sure, share out our YouTube page. Go subscribe to our YouTube page so that you're not missing the new video format for these. You guys got anything else you want to add?
You just said a bunch of it.
Yeah, you got it. You covered it.
Sweet. Okay, well, this is Sludge.
And Mark.
And you got Ruben in Texas.
Y'all have a good night.
Good evening.
Night.